everybody, welcome back to the Fumble Live. We are breaking down the latest sports news for you, including an update about Kyrie Irving and how the NBA is investigating his recent absence. We're also talking about LaVar Ball and how he maybe should focus a little bit more on the positive. But before we do all that, make sure you subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends. Here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all social media at JRayTheFanatic.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Britt. You guys can follow me on all social media at @IamBrittJohnson. Jackie, Devin, you know what day it is. What time is it? It is Taco Tuesday! All right, guys, we actually have something dope to share with you guys that we created. We love you guys so much. We love interacting with you in the comment section, but sometimes, you know, with doing a live show, we can't really get into the comments as much as we want and address it live on the show. So we have started a new segment to our show. It will air on Fridays. It'll be live. It'll be part of the show. It'll take place of Britt's Takes on Fridays, and it is called Fan or Foe. Now, we need your guys' help to make this come to fruition and be great. Throughout this week, we will be kind of getting screen grabs from some of your guys' comments and questions, and then we will take those on Friday and use Fan or Foe to talk about them, to shout you guys out, whether it's a good comment or bad. Please send some good ones, but you can send some bad ones too. Maybe you're a foe of the show. But yeah, we're really excited to do this. We're really excited to have that time to just kind of sit back on a Friday, last thing we do for the day, and kind of engage with you guys and talk to you guys about some of the things that happened during the week. So if you guys have any questions or any comments you want to say, just let us know in the chat, and maybe it gets screenshot and maybe we'll talk about it on Friday. But yes, Fan or Foe Fridays. Stay tuned. Make sure you guys check us out on Friday.
We're so excited for this. This is going to be so much fun because there are
I get to
many
clap. I
comments
know
in
it.
there.
I can already feel it. I can feel I'm going to get to clap back to some people. It's going to be great.
Yes, we're getting clapbacks.
Clap. Y'all be snapping at us on weekends, but we're going to full on applaud up in here, I can tell.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, wow, perfect opportunity for us to clap back at all the haters in the chat, but also to highlight some of the people who really show us a lot of love, because we appreciate you, the nice ones. You guys really do make the show worthwhile and so fun to do.
Yes.
Before we dive into the news story, Britt, are we matching?
Oh, man, now I'm odd person out.
I feel like I'm the mix of you guys, though. Like, you have the, you know, green, and she has the white, and mine kind of has the beige white mixed together with it. So it's like we're definitely a girl group today. This is coordinated colors for sure.
I love it.
We should have got a dance routine together.
That okay, perfect. That's the dance. All right, now that's out of the way. Someone else was dancing recently, you guys. It was Kyrie Irving. So, actually, no, I forgot to mention. We are going to talk.
Good segue.
Yeah, right? Right?
I forgot to mention one other thing, but we'll get into that in the post-up. So let's keep on theme with this dancing thing. So last week, Kyrie sat out of games for unknown reasons. He cited personal reasons for, the reason behind I'm getting my words all tongue-tied. He cited personal reasons for why he was missing the games. But then yesterday, a video surfaced of him at a very large gathering, not wearing a mask. He was with his family. Both his dad and his sister celebrated their birthdays on January 12th. We have a video that we're going to show. So, Leo, can you roll that clip for us right now?
Make some noise, y'all. Make some noise. Make some noise.
So, big party. It's obviously a big party. That was Kyrie talking. He's not wearing a mask, like I mentioned before. This was a family gathering, so I'm curious to hear if this changes anything for you guys. But because he was around a bunch of people, he's likely going to have to isolate. Also, I do want to add, there hasn't been confirmation that these were officially taken over the weekend, but the assumption is that they were simply because they did celebrate their birthdays then. He's set to miss his 4th consecutive game, and the NBA is already investigating what's going on. They are looking into the fact that he wasn't wearing a mask, that he was surrounded by a bunch of people, and the belief is that he won't return to the Brooklyn Nets lineup this week at all. So, is this similar to what James Harden did? Is it different because he wasn't at a strip club or a nightclub? He was out with his family. Is he going to receive the same treatment that James did? Let's discuss. Let's start off with you, Britt. I would love to hear about this. How is this different, if it is different, from James Harden's situation?
It's different because there's so many fans that have been waiting and praying and, everything for Kyrie to get back on the hardwood. And this is just sad. It's a disappointment. James Harden missed a practice. We're not talking about, we're talking about games here. We're not talking about practices. Like I said, okay? We're talking about games here. This is a big difference. And especially considering now it's 4 consecutive games. The Brooklyn Nets are currently out of the playoff race if playoffs were to end today. They're, I think, the 11th seed. Yesterday they were I think they're still the 10th seed because they haven't had a game since. But yeah, they're the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference, which the Eastern Conference, yes, has stepped up their game a little bit and gotten a little bit more competitive, but it's still easier in the East than it is in the West. So to be 10th in the Eastern Conference is a pretty big deal. Again, it's still early on in the season. They've played, 10, 11 games now, but to miss almost half of those now because you were supposedly probably partying, and regardless of who it is with, you're still out and you're still partying. Like, I remember when everybody's favorite on the Lakers, what's his name?
LeBron James? No, he don't party like
that. No, white boy. Alex Caruso. When Alex Caruso did not attend his sister's wedding to play in the bubble. And Alex Caruso is not this star player like Kyrie is, to where it's you're needed on this team in order to make a difference. Now, granted, the team has gone 2-1 without Kyrie. It's not like it's been this huge deal at this moment because they've won 2 of the games that he hasn't been in and only lost Sunday's game that Kevin Durant actually played in. But I don't know. It's just the optics obviously are bad. Whoever shot the video, I'm sure, is not going to be any longer invited to family affairs because they're going to be able to figure out who was sitting in that spot at that moment and shot Kyrie and sold it to some station or whatever. But it's just the optics look bad. People were rooting for Kyrie. I was one of them. I love Kyrie as a player. And to see that he's missing 4 games is it brings up the question to me now. I know he's still young in his NBA career. He's 28 years old, but he's also made a lot of money in his young career. Is he already checked out of basketball? Is he done? And that could very well be it. Some people have to find their paths in life. I remember when Chris Borland, after his rookie year in the NFL, decided, you know what? I checked out CTE and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to play football. I know I was a 1st-round pick and I'm, supposed to be this great player and rookie of the year and all this kind of stuff, but it's not worth it to me. Has Kyrie gotten to the point where we've seen other players do that? It is not worth it to me. I don't want to play this game anymore. I have other things that are a bit of bigger concern to me. Maybe that being he wants to spend more time with his family or whatever the case is. But it's a valid question now. Has Kyrie checked out? Is he done playing? Have we seen the end of the great days of Kyrie? Because every year it's just been a little less Kyrie invested in basketball to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering too, because it does seem like a big risk to take to go to a family birthday party. I know that celebrating loved ones is important and special, but knowing that it was going to prevent him from suiting up again and playing with his team when, he joined the Nets with KD with the intention of winning a championship, it's surprising to see that he's kind of taking this lax approach. And it made me wonder the same thing. Is he just kind of over it? Does he just not really want to try anymore? It's also interesting to consider the fact that he's the VP of the Players Association. So he's, you know, supposed to be standing up there as kind of a representative of the league, and to be missing games and, you know, kind of ghosting his team in a sense for a birthday party, it just, I don't know. I don't feel like it's necessarily the best look. And we, when we learned that he was sitting out for personal reasons, we all thought that maybe it was to protest the social injustices that were happening and racism, or even sitting out just to preserve his health. And that is completely understandable. But now that we know he was out partying, is this a bad look? Jackie, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
This is one of those things, you guys know I have a love-hate relationship with Kyrie because I think Kyrie is incredibly intelligent. I say that all the time. I also think he's very calculated. I think he knew that this was going to be exposed. He's not stupid. You can't hardly do anything in this world, let alone if you're a superstar, and it not be caught on tape, you know? So I think he knew this would happen. I think that he knew that would mean that he would have to quarantine longer. So I think that is why questions like what Britt just asked, does he want to play basketball anymore, are very warranted questions, because you're the president of the NFLP. You know the rules. Like, if anybody knows the rules, you know the rules. You know what's going on. But to be honest, all that aside, I think that Kyrie's a narcissist. I think that deep down inside what we're seeing is Kyrie is not the star, and that is starting to bother him more than anything. Kyrie needs to be the star of his own show, and the fact that he's not, and I would venture a guess, the fact that they went out there without a KD and without a Kyrie and they pulled out a win, that probably triggered something in his mind, because Kyrie is not the type of person who can deal with the fact that he's not needed or people can get along without him. He needs to be the man, and I think that his narcissism is getting the best of him right now, and I think he's having a hard time trying to find his place in a world that can survive without him. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's literally what I think is going on with Kyrie. And I feel like in his family, he is that cornerstone. Every family has a cornerstone. And I think in his family, he's the cornerstone, and that's his safe place. And that's why he's taking refuge with his family right now, because his narcissism is going through some things. So he probably needs to see somebody, figure that out, and figure out what he's going to do to move forward, because I think he still has a lot of great years of basketball ahead of him. He just needs to get his mind right.
Mm-hmm. Jackie, Devin, I have a question for both of you guys. To what you said, do you think that what was the start of the personal reasons? Because obviously after now we get to a point where it's like, oh, well, then his family had birthday. Now it's like, oh, now he's going to have to quarantine because he's around a lot of people. But do you think possibly the start of it was like what Jackie said, like he wanted to sit out to see if like they lose the games without him, and then it's like, oh, see, you guys need me? Do you think that that's why he set out, or do you think that it originally started as something that was a protest for what happened at the Capitol building, or was something else, and then they were winning without him, so then he just got mad? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think it started with that live chat where KD told him, nah, all this, you being the number one guy, we're not going to do that. you pass the ball to me. I think it started with that live chat, and then I think it festered. And then, like I said, he's very intelligent. I think he's very calculated. Then he had this moment in time where he could legit say, I want a personal day. We wouldn't have thought anything of it. We all were going to make our own conjecture about what he was doing. And then he took that personal day, and then they were fine without him. I think it snowballed is what I think happened. I don't think it was, the protest. I literally think it started with the KD live chat, and then it snowballed from there. And now he needs to get it under control immediately. I'm telling you, he needs to see somebody.
Right. And Jackie, and just to add on to what you were saying, I think that he probably did expect to see the Nets losing without him there. And if he truly is a narcissist, like Jackie says, then he needs that supply. He needs to know that he's needed, he's wanted, he's the center of attention. And as soon as that doesn't happen, it's like a narcissist will truly spiral out of control. Now, I don't want to come on here and say that I think Kyrie is a narcissist or not. I think that he does like to be in the spotlight.
That's okay, I said it.
Yeah, you said it.
If that theory is true, then that would make sense. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that he does obviously like to be in the spotlight, and as soon as he's not and the team is still excelling, it probably kind of is like a jolt to his system, like a stab in the gut or something. So I don't know. This is weird. I think that this is the pivotal time for him to step up and, really make an impact on the team, and he's not doing that. So I don't know. Let's jump into the next update, you guys, though, because there was one rookie who was making a good impact on his team, except LaVar Ball really wasn't wanting to pay attention to that, which is very interesting. So LaMelo, we talked about this yesterday. He had a great few games with the Hornets. He's the youngest person to record a triple-double. I mean, he had some moments that were worth celebrating. We saw LeBron James post about it. It was exciting for him. But we also know how much starting labels mean to LaVar Ball. It's always been something that he pushes for with his sons, no matter where they are. And if they don't start, if they aren't on the starting lineup, he likes to kind of throw a fit. So he was actually criticizing the Hornets head coach. He talked to Fox Sports and said, quote, "Tell me, have you ever seen a marquee guy that you promoting in all of this, brothers going up against each other, and he don't start? I never seen that before in my life. That's like telling Michael Jackson, hey man, you coming on second." Now I think the Michael Jackson reference is a bit of a stretch. LaMelo's good. I wouldn't say he's king of pop good, but I just find it interesting that LaVar is once again doing this. In that Fox Sports interview, he really didn't say much about the accomplishments that Melo did achieve, and I think that this was a moment where he really could have just enjoyed what was happening, enjoyed the attention Melo was getting, and celebrated that, but he didn't. So Jackie, let's start with you. Does LaVar make a good point considering LaMelo's numbers, or is he just throwing a fit to throw a fit?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he's LaVar, so that's his job to kind of stir up mess, and he's very good at it. But, on the flip side, he's backing up Devontae Graham. He's averaging more points than Devontae Graham. He's averaging more assists and more rebounds than Devontae Graham. So on that side, I can see it. But Devontae's been with the team longer. He's been there for 3 years, and you've got to prove yourself a little bit. So I do think it's a little bit of both. I don't think you snatch this job away from Devontae right now because he has steadily improved since he's been there. So I think you just got to wait it out, and you've got to wait it out with some dignity so you can earn your spot in a way that nobody feels bad giving it to you. You can't seem like I said, it's a little bit of both, because on one side, the narrative says he should be starting, because then succeed or fail, it's a storyline, and we're so used to the Ball brothers being in this storyline. But like I said, I think you let Devontae stay in that position because he's earned it. He has continually improved. And LaMelo just got there. We only 11 games in. I think Charlotte is. They're 6-5 right now. The Celtics are 7-3. They're not, and the Celtics are in first, so they're not in this huge position right now that they have to kind of yank some ripcord and stir things up to try to make a change just yet. It's still early. Let him go ahead. And besides, you need depth on your bench. People forget the bench is so important to your game. So I think, again, this is just LaVar being LaVar. I understand what he's saying, but I think he's just stirring up some mess. But I do understand, if you look at the numbers, I understand what he's saying, but I still think you leave Devontae in that position right now.
Right. And I also think that this is a conversation that could have happened a different time. Take a moment to enjoy what your son accomplished. At least that's how I feel. Britt, do you feel that this is a say less moment for LaVar, or do you agree with him?
I don't agree with him in a sense. The coach, they're winning. The coach knows what he's doing, and your son probably is doing better because the pressure is off of him because he's not starting. People forget, he is a young kid, and he not only we just talked about him being the youngest player to ever record a triple-double, and everything's working there. Don't shake something up that's working. Your son is. And we talked about it. I loved that he's in Charlotte and in a smaller market. I think that was best for him than being in the bright lights of LA like his brother was, or being, with the Knicks or something like that where you're in New York. I think being in Charlotte is so good for him. He's getting this just hometown feel, a coach that's listen, we're not trying to win the Super Bowl, or not the Super Bowl, the NBA championship this year. Super Bowl is just right around the corner. I'm just smelling it. But we're not trying to win a championship this year. We're literally sitting in this moment, and we're going to develop you as a player. Devontae is going to be here for you to learn from him. Take little pieces from him, add it to your game. You can sit in this moment and relax, watch the game unfold while you're on the bench and not starting. Then go into the game and, do what you do. But let these moments happen for players, and let these players develop. And that's exactly what they're doing. I love that they're not pushing him into this like place where he has to be the end all be all of the Hornets or they're not going to be anything, you know, like I love how they're letting him develop. I think that's very smart to do. So yes, LaVar, say less. Like this is not a Luke Walton situation. Like I think what they're doing in Charlotte is good. They're taking this day by day. Michael Jordan was not a star the first day he got on a court. Kobe Bryant didn't play his first couple years in the league. Like, you know, like, so these things take time sometimes, you know, and let this kid develop and let him be great.
Yeah, I think it's good that they're being patient with him. Jackie, everything all right over there?
What you doing out there, Jackie?
I totally had to plug my computer.
Jackie, it's so funny.
I had to totally, I saw this warning that's like, you're going dead in like 2 seconds. I'm like, oh crap.
Not before the post up.
I was like, what? I thought it was plugged in, but it was not. So I had to plug it in.
Okay. So you're all good to go though? Because I'm about to toss it to you for post up.
I'm ready to catch it. I'm plugged in. I'm ready to
all
go.
Right. Jackie, take us into the post up.
All right, this is the post up. I almost died edition. This computer was like, come help me. So I had to do it. Had to get my life together. But you guys say it with me because Britt, I know you wasn't in agreement with me yesterday. Say it with me. Roll Tide, baby. Say it. No. She refuses. She refuses to say it. I don't know how she picked Ohio when Bama got the Heisman Trophy winner in Devontae Smith, who pulled in 12 receptions for 215 yards yesterday, 3 touchdowns. It was a great game. I think sitting behind Tua worked great for Mark Jones because he had 464 yards and 5 touchdowns. And let's not forget Nick Saban, who just won his 6th college national championship with Alabama. It's his 7th overall because he won with LSU. So I know she's not going to do it, but I'm just going to take this moment. Give him a round of applause. Britt, I thought you was going to at least join me with the clap, but she didn't, but I get it.
No, I got some for Nick Saban's butt later on in the show, so stay tuned, y'all.
Come on.
Some for my guy.
That don't sound friendly and nice. I'm trying to be friendly and nice over here.
It ain't friendly. That's why. It ain't friendly.
All right. Well, look, stay with me for a moment. We're going to be on this friendly and nice tip because I was so excited. I hope y'all watched that game last night. If you didn't, Hulu has live sports. We should get paid for that. So you can go back and watch it on Hulu. It was a great time. Obviously, Bama laid the smackdown, though, 52-24. One of my favorite moments in the game, though, was when London Dickerson got to come in. You guys know he blew out his knee as an ACL. He blew it out with the win over Florida. He had been petitioning all game to just get in on one snap, and then Coach Saban gave him his moment, let him go in, and this was just a heartfelt moment for me, so take a look.
How to get better. Oh, look at the big fellas coming in.
How about this? Blew out his knee in a freak play late in the win over Florida. He thought he was done. He's lobbied so hard to have one little moment. Remember when he was taken off from the cart and all the teammates were hugging him? Show of respect.
He's hugging every guy in that huddle. Really the glue of not just that offensive line, but a big part of the leadership. One of the pillars of this entire offense. Great to see coach giving him a chance to come out and play in the national championship.
Great center and a gifted lobbyist.
That's perfect. Really that's exactly how that should have gone. I think that's probably a hint. I think I realized what Britt is going to be talking about, though. So that's exactly how that should have gone. He was hurt. Let him get in there for that championship game and just, take a knee and let's be done with it. I loved it. That moment was fantastic. I know several Roll Tide fans, so I know we're in a pandemic, but I am not at all surprised to see them celebrating like this. It's a lot, you guys, but take a look.
Tuscaloosa, what are you doing?
So many germs. Just so many germs. Can't.
Out in front of the CVS.
They could walk in and get some masks or something. Like, what are they doing?
I hate it.
Oh, it's a lot lot of germs, but I knew it was going to happen. Like I said, I have a lot of friends, and I actually was texting people that I knew were down there. I was like, please, at least if you go, wear a mask. I have not heard back from them, so I don't know if they did or not. But we'll have to watch those numbers there because I do anticipate an influx, which they were already on an incline down there anyway. So this is just sad. But congratulations once again to Bama. This is just, Britt, how did you feel seeing all those people? There was just a sea of people. I didn't see one mask because, when I watched it, I actually blew it up huge. I think I saw one mask, but it was like it wasn't even like a real mask. It was just some sort of cute Alabama thing. But I think I saw one in all of those people.
Looks like the Roll Tide would do something like that.
I am the shade.
I'm an Ohio State fan. Like, my grandma grew up in Coshocton, Ohio, and I was like, actually, right now, I have my Ohio State slippers on that I wear every day. But I am like a real Ohio State fan. So my cousin, though, went to Bama. I literally immediately after the game, I knew he was about to call me, talk his crap, talk his Roll Tide. People from Alabama just they're not all the way there, so I totally knew this was going to happen. We saw it just from miles away, just like Alabama fans acting a fool because that's what they do. Like,
dang, Britt. Now you got mad when Dak's brother looped all y'all Cowboy fans into one thing. Now you just going to say Alabama fans is crazy? Is that what you just did?
They're all out there. They're all there, though.
Some of them are here. I know some of them.
And if they were there, they would be there.
Probably.
Don't lie.
No, you probably right. You probably right. All right, fine. Let's move on. Get her off the screen. She's just going to hate. But Roll Tide anyway. I don't care. It's a great game. I had such a good time watching that game. I loved it. Now, look, I have been defending Juju this whole time and all of his antics. I am not mad at the Corvette dance or all that he be doing. I get a lot of people are, but y'all got to stop clowning my boy because you're taking it too far now, just way too far. This next one is just throw up the picture, Leo. He posted this picture and said it's really crazy how we lost. This is from in his room. There's not a lot going on. It's just the wall, but yet y'all still found a way to clown my boy and said Juju's room looks like a 17-year-old girl's. I can't even argue that, though. You know what I mean? Like, you got lights on the wall. It looks all like you're about to.
Maybe just Christmas decorations still.
No, Juju, you're not helping me defend you.
This was how my college dorm room looked. That's so.
I had those dorm room, yeah.
Right? Like, Juju, what's going on here?
He's not helping me defend him. I feel like I need to slide in his DMs on a very public relations type thing, like, hey, don't do this, do this, because you're making it difficult for your girl. But look, it happens. This next one, yesterday, I was literally kind of sad when I saw all the pictures of Big Ben and him looking like he was crying. I literally had a moment, got super teary-eyed when I heard the actual audio from it. Britt was on 100% right yesterday. She said, if he had gone all the way, this would have been his third win. He already got 2. He should be upset for Pouncey. And that's exactly what it is. He's actually apologizing. It's so heart-wrenching, but take a listen.
I'm sorry, brother. You're the only reason I wanted to do this, man. Oh, I feel worse for you than me. I hate it, man.
Oh, you can hear the quiver in his voice. That's so sad to me. I hate it. I hate it so much. But I agree with this next user because this is just a lot. Like, y'all forget that this might be one of Big Ben's last name, if not his last game. He says, I feel bad for Ben. He's getting zero respect for what most likely is his last game. Hate our receivers all you want, but there shouldn't be any hate for Big Ben. I mean, I just hate to see. I always want to see people go out on top. You know what I mean? Like, just go out on a high, and this is definitely a low for him. So I don't know. Y'all leave Big Ben alone. This makes me a little bit sad. But, he's not my quarterback, so I will get over it. But speaking of my quarterback, so Drew Brees posted this picture to his IG last night, and I was like, oh, God, I hope I don't have to talk about this tomorrow because I don't like the picture. But then, of course, Tom Brady posted, and here we are. Look at this. Okay, both of these men are in their 40s. I think Tom is 43, right? And then Drew is 41, I think, or just turned 40. But look, y'all didn't have to. Whoever did this whole old man history awaits thing, first of all, your graphics are dope. Good job. Second of all, you didn't have to do this. And finally, the only saving grace for this, for me, Drew looks better than Tom Brady in this picture. So I'm okay with that. I'm just gonna live with that. Y'all don't have to call my boys old. Yes, you don't think
Tom Brady? What are you saying?
No,
Jackie.
no.
Jackie, look at that picture. I don't like Tom Brady, but he looks like a fine zaddy in that picture.
Tom Brady looks like he's about to storm the Capitol in this picture. Drew looks like the guy that's gonna Drew's gonna take you in, offer you some good food, make sure you okay. He looks better.
Jackie and I agree with you 1,000% on this one. Like 1,000,000%.
I knew you guys would. That's why I was trying to hurry up and get off this. I'm like, come on. Like, I knew you guys were gonna disagree with me. Just look.
You ain't gonna leave that energy out there.
Look, everyone in the chat says the same thing, that Tom Brady looks better. I don't care what any of you guys said, okay? I said what I said. I said what I said. Who dat? I said what I said. Whatever, okay? Fine. All right, so look, this next one is a lot of fun. All right, now I might have got the last one wrong, but I'm gonna get this one exactly right because I know Devin can read lips better than anybody on this show. I can read body language better than anybody on this show. So let me tell you what's going on in LaVar Jackson's head right now. He's going, Mike Jones, like Mike Jones, the Houston rapper? Can he be interviewed? Nah, he's not interviewing me right now. Oh my God, but Mike Jones. That's exactly what happened. Take a look and see if I nailed this one.
Take a few more here for LaVar. Mike Jones? LaVar, there was that point in the season where you guys lost 3 straight, 4 or 5.
Mike Jones. Mike Jones. That's lit. Mike Jones. That's lit. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right.
Did I not nail that? His body language, I nailed it. Nailed that one. So I thought that was awesome. So funny. But, I got to get one shout out, though. Nerd Soul said that I was right. Tom Brady looks like he's about to storm the Capitol. So that's 1 hash mark for I was right. That's all I got so far. Everybody else thinks I disagree, and Tom Brady looks better.
But he still looks better than Drew Brees. He didn't say he didn't look better than Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Is storming the castle attractive? Is that attractive?
It's not that. I mean, there might have been a couple fine guys that stormed.
There was not.
We didn't see them. But if there was a guy that was fine that stormed the Capitol, it would look like Tom Brady. I'm just saying.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, God, this is just going to be an ongoing thing. I could tell. Now I got to wait for them to actually get old so I could be like, I told y'all Drew was going to look better. But anyway. All right, let's go on. Because, look, LeBron James, at least in my head, I could have been wrong. It's probably some school teacher that actually started the individual handshakes to probably make all their students feel like they were individuals and welcome. But I think LeBron James perfected it. But Mikal Bridges, he's taking it to a next level because all of his handshakes is fire. He took, first of all, remembering, that's always been the key with these handshakes for me. Like how you remember all these. I would have mixed up some moves. I would have jumped with this guy when I was supposed to dab that guy. Like I would be interchanging all these handshakes, but he nailed it. My favorite part though is at the end though. He does all these elaborate handshakes and then goes to the bench for the coaches. Just fist bump, fist bump, fist bump, fist bump. Nothing special for you, fist bump. I love that. Oh goodness. Good job though.
Funny. Yeah.
It's
impressive.
Many. It's so many, y'all. Look, okay, but yeah, shouts out to you. That one was great. Now, look, this is going to be a mini what we not going to do moment, okay? Everybody, listen. What we not going to do is clown my boy, Damian Lillard. That's not what we do around here. Damian Lillard is one of our favorites. He's got bars for days. He's got ball handles. He's dope as a player. What we not going to do, okay? So we're going to give you this little moment here, Twitter user, whatever your name is, with this little shade, Jose. And he says, Damian Lillard currently has more songs made, which is 32, than playoff wins, which is 20. First of all, I don't recall anybody asking you for this ridiculous stat. Nobody asked you for these, you know. Usually when I see stuff like this, when I'm doing the post up, I usually go in. Like if you ever want to have something fun to do, if you're ever bored in the house, you're in the house bored, look at our post up, go to Twitter, find the tweet that we talked about. I'll be all up in the chat. I'll be going in with people. I didn't have to do that this time because these two gentlemen actually did it for me and said what needed to be said. Like, are we just going to skip out on the fact that Damian Lillard is dope? Are we going to pretend like 20 playoff wins as the number one option isn't incredibly impressive? No, we're not. He had 2 season-ending buzzer beaters, 2 that are still 2 of the most electric finishes since I have been watching basketball. Are we going to forget about that too? So, Britt, do you feel like this is a stat that did not need to be put out into the world, since you're talking about we not leaving that energy out there? Is this one of them energies?
I'm on this guy's page right now, okay?
Yes.
I'm on his page. First of all, he's a little pervert, and I don't even know what he's talking about most of this stuff, but I am on his page right now. Don't worry about it, Dame. I got you, boo-boo. He ain't about to come for you, okay?
First of
Not
all,
my favorite player.
I know that's right. Leo threw that up just at the right time. Britt was already on the side, like, "Oh, not today,
I'm like,
not
no,
today."
No.
I love it. I told you you can't come for Dame. There's some people around here you can't come for. Dame is one of them, right? So just so you know, I can't go over to Twitter, see what Britt wrote, because I feel like it's about to turn up on that whole thread right there. So. Okay,
I'm a Christian woman. I'm trying to be less petty. So
hey, there's a lot of people that got beat down in the Bible, so you just got to do it like my mama. I will smack the hell out of you in the name of Jesus. That's what my mama always says. So just do it like that.
Actually, I'm gonna put that exact thing. That is what I'm gonna write.
Yes, my mama got you. Don't worry about it. All right. So look, I said it earlier because I know we don't want to just, wrap people all up in the same fandom. We don't want to put all the Cowboys fans in one group. Britt just put all the Bama fans in one group, and that's fine. I don't have an argument for that. But yesterday I did say, that Bills fans are not the brightest. And a friend of mine did hit me up. He watched the show and he was like, "Hey, I'm a Bills fan, so my bad. I know one intelligent Bills fan. Just one." But let's recap how they celebrated the win yesterday really quickly in case you forgot. So let's take a look at this.
Go! 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 Ah, there we go!
I mean, at least they were smart enough to do it in the snow. I'm gonna give them that. They were smart enough to do it in the snow instead of like some places where like next to some gasoline cans or something like that. But look, Bills actually have fans in the stands, right? So just Bills. That's all that was in there that I saw, is at least in this clip, trying to root their team on to their first playoff win since 1995. And will y'all look at this? Look at this. First of all, this is an embarrassing fight. I don't know how my guy in the red didn't see every single punch that was coming his way, because that dude is moving slower than molasses in the wintertime. That's another one of my mama's saying. Like,
it's slow-mo. Why does it look like that? They're like fighting underwater.
Like, it's cold. They're cold. Their eyes are probably numb because it's freezing out there. And they're like, oh, them cold punches hurt.
Yeah, and having your booty just exposed to that metal can't be helping either, because his booty just all out. Like, this is just embarrassing. So I don't know. I fight faster than that. So just a fun fact. So I'm just gonna go ahead and loop all of my Bills fans except for the one that I know. Y'all need to fight better, and don't do
fight
stuff.
each other. Right. I've never seen a Cowboys fan fight another Cowboys fan. I've never seen it. I've never seen a Saints fan fight another Saints fan. Like, I've never seen Dodgers fans fight each other. Dodgers fans will beat everybody else up, but Dodgers fans don't fight each other.
I've actually been in a situation where it's a bunch of Saints fans and things got heated between two people, and then somebody jumps in and says, hey, we're Saints fans. And then, okay, you're right. And everybody kind of just goes to their respective corner. But we don't do these slow motion hits. It's just not a who dat thing. That's not what we do. I will punch you in the face. We're clowning. That's true. That's what's happening. All right. But let's get into this next one, because we're going to take a moment and detour to what we not going to do. Okay. It's one of our least favorite topics, because we got to talk about 45 and we got to talk about the Patriots, a la Bill Belichick. I actually don't dislike Bill Belichick, but we'll get into that. So if you guys don't know the medal, the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award, and what it is, let me just break it down for you. It's supposed to go to people who have done something for the security of the nation, like somehow made us more secure as a nation, or helped us move closer to world peace, or some sort of significant, public thing that will benefit us all. There's a lot of civil rights people are in there, things of that nature. There are a lot of sports figures who have won this award, so I don't want to make it seem like they haven't, because I think LeBron James should have won by now, but that's a whole different story for another day. But a lot of athletes have been deserving, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I know you guys know who he is. He won 6 NBA champions. I can see the AD comparison right now. I just had a brain fart. That is definitely an AD comparison picture. But he's won 6 NBA championships. And then he boycotted the 1968 Olympics because he was refusing to try out because of the injustice that we saw as Black people in this country. So him receiving it makes sense to me. Willie Mays got it from President Barack Obama. That made sense to me as well because of his civil rights contributions to the Negro League. Britt and I were talking before the show. What's his last name, Britt? Vinny from the Dodgers. Vin Scully got it. That makes sense because he's been announcing the Dodger game since Jackie Robinson broke the color line. So these are people that have received awards that are either in sports or involved with sports. All of that makes sense to me. I just had to put that out there so y'all don't think that I'm just tripping on what I'm about to say. Some of these are head scratchers. These ones for that Trump is giving the award to are definitely head scratchers because he's just giving it to his buddies like Republican Davin Nunez, who rallied against Apple, Google, and Amazon for banning Parler. Now, Parler is the website that Proud Boys, which is a racist organization, they use it a lot to kind of get the word out, and they used it to get the word out about them taking over the Capitol. So he's pissed off about that. He's also giving it to Representative Jim Jordan. He's from Ohio, and he has thrown out every conspiracy theory you can imagine with regards to this election, and he's basically fueled the fire as well. So neither one of those makes sense. One that does make sense to me that Trump is giving it to is Babe Dickerson Zaharis, I believe is how you say her last name. Now, this is a postmortem award, but I actually love this because she is one of the first people to really bring cancer to the forefront of the conversation. She played every single thing. She played golf, basketball, track, and she won at all of them. And she won the gold medal in track in the 1932 Olympics. And then she turned pro in golf and won 10 LPGA major championships. So she's dope as hell. She got cancer in 1953 and was open with everything, her treatment, the disease, what it was doing to her body. And she did that to try to not only raise awareness about it, but get people to donate to cancer research and stuff like that. And she passed away at 44. I love her. I think that is super dope because research is always important. So I actually love that one. But this next one, I know y'all know, Bill Belichick is supposed to get this same award. And so this is a head scratcher to me because, yeah, okay, cool, he's good at football, but how is that? If football stopped tomorrow, you guys, it would suck for us football fans, but he's not changing the world in any way, shape, or form, and he's not bettering us. But then I was like, let me look. Maybe he does have some charities. So I looked, and he does have a charity. He has one charity that's supposed to give back to less privileged kids. So they gave $44,000 to kids to get into this group. It's a camp that he brings kids into to kind of mentor them in football. He also did a virtual toy drive to benefit some of the kids in that program. But literally, y'all, that was it. He hasn't done anything. This charity has been around for a while, and that's the only thing he's done, and which is embarrassing to me because you guys know charities are write-offs. So he hasn't really done a lot. He has coined the phrase, though, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And he has cheated several times. So I don't know if this is a guy that you give this award to. And let's not forget, before the election in 2016, Donald Trump was in Manchester, New Hampshire, reading a letter from his great friend, Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick asked him if he could rewrite it before he read it out loud, because apparently he went all in and basically called Trump the second coming. But let me just read you this letter really quick that he wrote to Trump in 2016. He said, "Congratulations on a tremendous campaign. You have dealt with an unbelievable slanted and negative media and have come out beautifully. Beautifully. You've proven to be the ultimate competitor and fighter. Your leadership is amazing. I have always had tremendous respect for you, but the toughness and perseverance you have displayed over the past year is remarkable. Hopefully tomorrow's election results will give you the opportunity to make America great again. Best wishes for the great results tomorrow. Signed, Bill Belichick. So that "make America great again" phrase to me is, I hate it, because to me it still sounds like you want to make America white again. And that one's troubling to me. And by this time in his campaign, he had already proved himself to be homophobic, racist, misogynist, but Bill Belichick was still co-signing on this. And he was the first one to go to the White House and present him with the trophy, the helmet, the Trump jersey, all of that. So, okay, Britt and Devin always get on me because I don't believe people change at their core. They think they do. Fine. That was 2016. It's 2020. It's a new day. I can give them some space to change, right? Well, August of 2020, Donald Trump appeared on this show called Hugh Hewitt, and he was talking about war and stuff. And the guy asked him, like, who would be your best war strategist? And he said, and I'm quoting, if I ever had a military battle, I'd call up Bill Belichick and say, what do you think? What do you think? Give me a couple of ideas. He'd be good as any general out there. And you dumb as hell if you think a head coach of the National Football League would be a good military strategist. But I digress. Bill Belichick responded to that, and he said about Donald Trump, he says, when you consider the type of leadership that he's shown throughout his career serving our country, it really means a lot. So obviously they're friends. They've been very open with their friendship. So now we fast forward to Bill Belichick, and all of y'all are praising him for the fact that he turned down this presidential award. Don't be confused, y'all. He turned down this presidential award because of the climate. Belichick's views have not changed. Belichick's views on Donald Trump has not changed. He probably still is co-signing on half of these conspiracies, and he did not write this long soliloquy about why he's not going. But I'm going to read it to you anyway. He said, recently, I was offered the opportunity to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which I was flattered by out of respect for what the honor represents and admiration for recipients. Subsequently, the tragic events of last week occurred, and the decision has been made not to move forward with the award. Above all, I am an American citizen with great reverence for our nation's values, freedom, and democracy. I know I also represent my family and the New England Patriots team. One of the most rewarding things in my professional career took place in 2020 when, through great leadership within our team, conversations about social justice, equality, and human rights moved to the forefront and became actions. Continuing those efforts while remaining true to the people, team, and country I love outweigh the benefits of any individual award. Bill Belichick. That wasn't your attitude 5 months ago, sir. And you would have been better off just kind of letting this one go by the wayside, just not even mention this, or do what Tom Brady did and said, I have a family engagement, I can't go. But this is attrition, y'all. This is not revelation. This is him being pressured by society to appear one way when he hasn't really changed. So what we're not going to do is pretend that this man has changed in any way, shape, or form. We're not going to do that. And even the people who are siding with him kind of know that it's just because of the situation. This user said that they left bully, the left is what he meant. The left bullied Belichick into submission, and him and everyone knows he would have been fired or at least persecuted if he did accept the honor. He would not have been fired. That's first and foremost. We know who the Patriots, Robert Kraft is great friends with Trump, so he would not have been fired at all if he had done that. So look, again, what we're not going to do, I would bet my last $5 that before Bill Belichick released this statement, he called Donald and said, hey, I got to release this statement, but, we can still have dinner tomorrow. There's no way. This man's viewpoints have not changed. He is trying to stay relevant in the social media world and in the social justice world, and he's trying to make sure he doesn't shine a negative light on his teams. But nice try, Billy. Not falling for it. What we're not going to do is pretend that you ain't still Bill Belichick from August of 2020. But good try. I appreciate you. That's all I got for what we not going to do. And these fake, all of a sudden, enlightenments. So, Devin, where you at? Are you ready?
I am ready.
Because now it's time for Brit's Takes.
Brits takes.
That was a good one.
Yes, it was. It is time for Brit's Take. Now, Jackie had to hand it to the man, Bill Belichick. Well, I'm going to go Bill Belichick down to the college level, and I'm talking about Nick Saban today and what transpired yesterday. Yes, Bama won 52-24. Whatever. Great game. Early in the game, if you guys watched, it happened on one of the first plays of the game. Trey Sermon, who is the star running back for Ohio State, went down with his shoulder injury. He went back to the locker room. We never saw him again during the rest of the game. And that obviously changed the momentum and changed the game plan for Ohio State, because now all the pressure is put on Justin Fields, who we already remember is coming off of an injury from last week. He didn't look injured during the game. He played well still, but the pressure was all put on him after the fact that Sermon was taken out. Again, T came through, though, and had a great game still, so their backup running back still had a pretty decent game. But Trey Sermon went out early in the game. Second half, Devontae Smith actually went out as well. He had a hand injury, but it was very odd. He spent over 20 minutes in the tent. So usually when players go into the tent, they're in there for just a couple minutes, and then they get put back in the game. It kind of looked like he had probably dislocated his finger. Right on the sideline, we saw it look like the coach was trying to pop it. One of the athletic directors or coordinators was trying to pop it back in place. Then they ended up going into the tent. Usually you're in there a couple minutes, come back out, rejoin the game. But it was very odd that he was in there for 20 minutes. And I believe it was because Bama was trying to do any possible thing to keep him on the field. They did not want him to go back to the back and do what he should have done, which was check x-rays, make sure he's okay before he goes out. They wanted to try to talk him into playing or give him whatever shot they could give him in the tent, whatever they could do to see if they could get him back on this field. And this is going to make more sense when I get into what I'm talking about today for Brit's Take, because several other players, yes, were injured throughout that game as well. But the most interesting one I am going to talk about and I'm so upset about is receiver Jalen Waddle, who definitely earned his, please don't do this yet. We're not going to do this one yet, Leo, because I want to do the sound with that. It is very interesting what the announcer said in this moment. So Jalen Waddle actually suffered a fractured ankle back in October. So this was October. His timeline, he had said before the game, he just told everybody that he wanted to be playing for the national championship game. So whatever workouts, whatever stretching, whatever he had to do to be ready to play in that game, he was going to do. That was the timeline. So it wasn't an accurate timeline of like, okay, well, normally a fractured ankle has you out this many months or you're going to be doing this. No, everything was going around this national championship game. If you guys don't watch a lot of college football, let me explain why this is so crucial and important. Waddle was actually the number one receiver for Alabama. He was their star receiver on that team. When he got hurt in October, that's when Smith came in and kind of took over, and what happened last week, won the Heisman Trophy. So we're talking about Waddle as a better receiver than the guy who just won the Heisman Trophy. Waddle is that good. Like, he had a tremendous season last year. He was literally like the guy this year that was supposed to be the star of the show, and was until he had his fractured ankle. So him wanting to come back for this moment, I guess I could understand. But Alabama, their medical staff said he was 100% ready to come back. I don't know about you, but this doesn't look like a guy that was 100% ready to come back. Leo, show the video. We have listened to what the announcers are saying in this clip.
Right now by Todd McShay. That's how highly thought of is he. Smith's the fourth-rated overall player, but he's the number 11 player in the first round.
Right.
Out there hurt.
Out there playing for his guys. You know, he wants to play and be a part of this. Like I said, this is if you're an Alabama fan, you should be so proud of the team and the chemistry of this football team.
No, this is nothing to be proud of. This guy, like he said, is projected to be the 11th overall pick in the draft. People who are selected after 10th overall pick roughly make a starting signing contract of around 15 mil. It's usually about 6 or 7 mil of that guaranteed. And this guy is literally putting it on the line, waddling his way throughout the whole game, looked absolutely it was just cringeworthy to see him in this moment playing. And why is Nick Saban letting them play? Everybody on social media saw it too. We got some posts for you guys. A bunch of people commented, but we'll look at the bottom one first. Darius Leonard said, "Come on, Nick, don't let Waddle do this. He's hurt and shouldn't be out there. Come on, bro. Sometimes you got to protect players from themselves." Patrick Mahomes added to that. "Respect the heart, but you can't let that man be out there." Continues on with some more. Des Bryant posted, and Des Bryant will play hurt. And he even noticed in this moment, "Keep Waddle out of the game. I know you love the game, brother, but you not playing tonight is best for your future." And then this last that we have on here, AJ Brown also posted and said, "Waddle, please sit down." Now, I know we talked about the medical staff saying that he was 100%. Clearly, in this moment, you could see he's not 100%. But let's talk about this medical staff who is the team medical staff. They work on a day-to-day with Nick Saban, and they're literally working in cahoots with each other. Nick Saban has done this on several occasions. I talked a little bit earlier in the comments about, some of Alabama's players kind of not transitioning into the NFL good, because they lay it all out on the line in these moments because Nick Saban brainwashes them to think that this is the biggest moment of their life. It's not. Waddle playing last night was not good for his future career. Who knows what's going to happen in the combine, but he shouldn't have played last night, period. Jackie, we're going to do, it's Tuesday, girl, so it is time to do a Tag Team Tuesday. Back again. Tell me what you think on this whole situation, because I know you were happy Bama won, but at what cost are they winning if they have players that are playing in moments like this?
So I'm really glad you played that clip with the announcers, because I was obviously watching the game, and when I heard them, I was like, I'm not proud in this moment. Like, if I was his sister, his girlfriend, his mother, like, y'all, security would be trying to keep me out of the stadium right now because this is not okay, and I get Nick Saban. Don't get me wrong. I know college coaches, and not in a school like this, but I do know college coaches, and they do teach their kids, like, the likelihood of you making it into the league is slim. So this might be your biggest moment. This might be the moment where you can look back on and you want to be, they treat them like soldiers. Like, you want to have the persons to your left and your right. You want to have their back. But at the end of the day, even if obviously we know, like you said, he's scheduled to go 11th in the draft. But even if he wasn't, even if he never made it to the NFL, the way he was waddling out on that field, that could potentially damage him for just normal life. Forget football. That could damage him for And now all of a sudden he's 35 and he's got to have a cane because of this moment in time. I thought it was so shameful when he said that. A friend of mine and I were watching the game together via Zoom, and we both looked at each other like, did they just say this is a proud moment? This is not a proud moment. Right. She took the same kind of stance that you did with, Nick Saban. I was like, look, if I'm Nick Saban and my medical staff comes to me and they say that he's 100%, I'm going to believe that he's 100%. I'm going to send him out there. But when I see him waddle, pun intended, when I see him waddle out, I'm going to be like, oh, time out. Bruh, did y'all say it was okay? Get your waddle back. You know what I mean? And medical staff, we got to have a conversation, and y'all going to be lucky to have a job after this, because why are you sitting to me and telling me somebody's 100% clear and they can't even walk properly? And then Nick Saban has been doing this for a long time. He knew with the amount of time that kid was in the tent, he shouldn't have played. Period. When you go in the tent, you pop it back, you do whatever, you come back out. If you're in the tent for 20 minutes, they probably should be taking you into the locker room. And those of us who watch football, we just know that. Yeah. So I think it's just so important. And I said this, last week. These guys, these college coaches, these college staff, they have to take this more seriously. You're not just shaping these kids for football. You're literally shaping their future, and you don't know how this injury is going to impact his future. And football aside, you should have put that kid and his potential future ahead of anything. This moment, and he had already played. If he just wants to say I played in the big game, you already played in the big game. Yeah. Go sit down. This is stupid. This is stupid.
Right. And to your point, he played well into the fourth quarter of this game, and it's 52-24.
Right.
You already won, my guy.
What you
already won. Get him out of the game. Like, I was so disgusted. And yes, Smith didn't come back after he went in there for 20 minutes and then went back to the locker room. But you guys literally, I feel like that in that moment in that tent, they were trying to persuade him to get back out there. I really do believe that because
maybe
of what we just persuading.
Maybe they were trying to tell him, maybe they're all like that. Maybe they're all just like, I have to play. Maybe they were trying to persuade them not to, I don't know. But it definitely is a bad look. It's a horrible look. I would love to see, now if they say something like, oh, the injury he sustained means he can't even play his first season, because he's got to sit out a first season to recover. That's going to be a huge zing, in my opinion, to Nick Saban. Like, you got to know.
Really? Especially because this was a fractured ankle. This is something that, you could be back running in a couple months, they said, but you shouldn't be playing football necessarily in a couple months, especially as a receiver when you got to have them ankles to be cutting and stuff like that. He should not have been in this game, period. And this is an injury that is easily healed from. So if he does have more issues because of this, it'll be because of this moment right here, because this is a clean injury. Like everybody's back from a fractured ankle. Like after a couple months, you can run again. And then if you heal properly, then you are going to be good as new, definitely a following season. So if this goes into interrupting his NFL career, interrupting the combine, which is going to happen in March, like if that kind of stuff, if this moment interrupted that and pushes him back, even getting the late first round, you are already docked even $10 million more. People that are picked in the late first round usually get about $5 million, $1 million signing bonus. Mid first round is around 12 to 15 mil. And then obviously we know the top can be up to 30, $40 million. So this makes a huge difference just in the first round alone. So it's I love Dez though.
Because Dez, first of all, it's Cowboys culture to play through injury. You know what I mean? So for Dez to even step up and say, okay, enough, that says a lot, because that's the culture of the Cowboys. We all know Emmitt Smith played in almost a full Super Bowl with a dislocated shoulder. Dez has played hurt. A lot of people. Witten has played hurt.
This point is people that have already got a check. We're talking about a kid who has not got a check yet. Like, sit down, Waddle. Like, ugh.
Mm-hmm. I saw somebody in the chat say, but this is why they should just start paying these college kids. That also makes sense.
Hey, preaching to the choir here. We want that to happen. But Jackie, thank you for this Tag Team Tuesday. I wish we could talk about this more and longer, but we are out of time. But great Tag Team Tuesday. Check us out every Tuesday for our Tag Team Tuesday when me and Jackie team up to go in on somebody. Nick Saban, you have been served, my guy. Next. We got our next one coming up.
But congratulations at the same time,
Greatest coach to ever do it in college for sure. But don't let moments like that happen again, because it'll tarnish your legacy.
I agree.
All right, you guys, let's wrap up our show for the day. Thanks so much for that Tag Team Tuesday. Very interesting. I loved it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, wash your hands, wear a mask, and never forget that Miss Jackie Ray said that old Drew Brees was hotter than old Tom Brady. We can't forget this.
Doubling down. Double down.
Never trust Corvette, Jackie.
No, he's better. He's gonna bring you in and nurture you and feed you. Tom is gonna make you
Leo, wrap it up.